You really think you ought to go?
Oh, Liz, we've gone over this already.
We'll go over it again.
That's the soap opera credo. We've gone over this already, and we'll go over it again. My name is Joel Sharpton. I'm one half of the Articulate Coven Podcast, and this is the OG supernatural soap opera, It's Dark Shadows. It's episode 15. Let's get into this thing.
Search seems as endless as the corridors of Collinwood.
Speaking of endless corridors of Collinwood, we have discovered that door at the end of the hallway at the end of last episode got unlocked and opened for the first time. David was sure it was the ghost that did so. Victoria less sure it's the ghost, but definitely sure she saw somebody open that door. We all were too.
I've made friends with one small and terribly troubled boy.
Yeah, let's not overstate the friends thing. David has straight up lied to you. He was bringing something to your room to leave it, to pin on you, the spark plug. And instead he told you that he was bringing you a gift, the seashell. He is a dark and troubled boy, though. You go scare the shit out your old man.
You still want to send me away, don't you?
All I want right now is to find my car keys.
Well, you're not going to. I won't let you do it.
I don't know if the play here is that the writers assume that housewives don't know how cars work and they think this not having a spark plug is going to be a dangerous situation. I mean, the car might not start, like I said, but it shouldn't forcefully crash because it's missing a spark plug. Also, it makes me wonder if Burke was telling the truth when he said that he found that wrench on the seat.
But take my advice. You can't buy friendship from David. He has none to give. Not to you or to any of us.
Sounds like Roger may have tried at one point to buy his friendship.
I'll look in before I go.
Okay, so my guesstimate here is that they're not actually going to let Roger get to Collinsport before the end of this episode. So we'll probably have to wait until episode 16 before we get to that. I don't know, this was Friday. Yeah, he might get to Collinsport, but we won't see his meeting with Burke.
Mrs. Stoddard,
Yes?
when I was in the garage,
She told you where the keys were, homie? Why are you going back upstairs now?
I saw Burke Devlin.
Oh? What was he doing?
He was looking at Mr. Collins' car.
Looking.
Why would you tell her that and not Roger? This is not useful information for Elizabeth since she is not taking the car anywhere. But Roger is about to take the car to town.
Thank you for telling me.
No, she ain't gonna tell Roger either. I wonder.
You really think you ought to go?
Oh, Liz, we've gone over this already.
We'll go over it again.
That's the soap opera credo. We've gone over this already, and we'll go over it again. I honestly think Roger's right here. There's nothing wrong in talking to him. Roger should know better than whatever he's offering to actually take it. But he said it, I think, callously in the last episode, but I think it's true. Maybe Burke does want to be his friend. Maybe he does want this all to be in the past. I'll never know that if I don't go have this conversation with him.
When he came to the house tonight, I was sure he was going to threaten me. Well, he's done none of these things. It's a little disquieting, I
Yes, I
admit,
know.
but still it's worth exploring.
It's a little disquieting, I admit. Well, yes, I'm glad you admit it. It is a little disquieting.
He went on trial. He went to prison for 5 years. He blames it all on you.
By the way, that got clarified in the last episode, and I didn't note it, but that's true. I've thought this whole time that they were saying that Burke had been in prison for the last 10 years, which makes it very suspicious why he's suddenly rich. It's still pretty suspicious that he went from being, a convicted offender out on parole, one would assume, for he said last week, or last episode, for good behavior, right? It's weird to think that he would be out in 5 years on manslaughter and then within just 5 years make a fortune. But yeah, when I thought that it happened within like a few months of him being out of jail, that has the ring of a crime lord to it. Yeah, this has a less of that ring.
Do you honestly believe that any man, particularly Burke, would be as forgiving as he pretends to be now?
And what do you want me to do? Leave? Stay here?
I want you to be careful.
He messed that line up. What do you want me to do? Leave and stay here?
I want you to be at least as suspicious of him as you are of your own son.
That's a good transition. I love those.
He's a very terrible man. I hate him. And I hope he dies.
Young, creepy-ass David. Let's just give him some flowers for that delivery. First of all, you can hold a monologue as well. I mean, that was a brief monologue, but it's about as monologue as we get on this show. You can hold that just as well as any of the other actors can, it seems. And, yeah, he delivered it very convincingly. I think he does hate. Maybe he hates that actor that plays Roger, honestly. I do wonder how long we keep this David. Obviously, there are recasts, at least for some of these people, as years go by. We've already heard Matthew, for instance. Somebody in the comments told me on a previous episode that this Matthew is not the same Matthew moving forward. They're even not that far ahead of us, I don't think. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. Kids age quickly, right? Especially at that age, they grow visibly in a way that would outpace the pace of this show.
You think everyone hates you, don't you?
They do. Except for my mother. And Aunt Elizabeth, maybe.
Well, what about me? I think you're a pretty nice boy.
That's a lie.
She didn't disagree with him, did she? I mean, she might not hate him, and I don't think she does. I think she's trying. But she doesn't think he's a very nice boy.
She had no friends, no one to play with. And you know why she was so unhappy? Because she thought no one liked her. But the funny thing is, every time a new girl would come and try and make friends with her, she'd chase her away.
Man, I've never heard a version of the little boy who cried wolf about the little boy who cried, nobody likes me, everybody hates me, I guess I'll go eat worms.
She learned that the one who really didn't like her was herself.
The real treasure was the friends we made along the way.
That's stupid.
It's a little stupid. David's right. David's a butthole, but he's right too.
What's that got to do with me?
Not the sharpest tool in the shed, huh?
It's just a story.
It's a stupid
You got to bring it home. You got to tell the parable. You got to close the deal.
He said he wants to push me away.
David, your father's been very upset lately. He has a great deal on his mind.
Just since Burke's been back in town, especially. Although, okay, so we also learned in last episode that Roger has only been back in Collinwood for a few months. He and David have only just moved back. So even before Burke Devlin came to town, something went different in Roger's life. Something happened with his wife. That's when she went away, whatever. I'm assuming we'll get that mystery solved a year or two from now.
Don't offer any information. Let him do the talking.
Anything else?
I wish you weren't going.
Don't buy any land in Venezuela.
Did you mean what you said?
I'm in a hurry.
You said you wanted to send me away. Did you mean it?
David, go to bed.
Well, I think he offered him a chance to get whatever part it was, his spark plug back. I'm really interested in what this was supposed to be with this subterfuge with the car here. We're going to see in just a minute, I hope. Maybe next week. I think David was going to give it back, though. If Roger hadn't been an asshole.
Yes, he knows he's to meet you at the Blue Whale. I'm sure he'll be along in a few minutes. Yes. Goodbye.
Burke is getting a little antsy. Just can't wait to see Raj again.
Would you mind sitting with me for a few minutes?
Of course not.
Elizabeth's really bothered here by something. I will say, neither one of them mentioned to Rogers that Burke was looking at the car.
Let's say that my brother isn't terribly fond of David.
You really don't want to say that about any of your kids either. Well, I love those two, but that one I'm not terribly fond of. This is a messed up family. Is the car not, I mean, obviously it's not in the garage. Who pulled it out of the garage is my question. Cranked up just fine, didn't it? You gotta have good brakes and, what was it? Strong nerves and good brakes?
He's going to die, Mother. He's going to die.
I mean, it was clearly a spark plug. The spark plug would not mess with the brakes. Brakes don't seem to be working well, though. Man, it's funny. Matthew did talk about almost dying coming off the mountain, didn't he? I should have seen it coming. I was right that he didn't make it to Collinsport. I was wrong in the reasoning. Nobody gonna answer the phone? Creepy ass David. So this, I'm guessing this is significantly later, because otherwise the ladies are still in the drawing room.
Oh, Roger's been in a car accident. His car went off the road.
Is he badly hurt?
They don't know yet. I knew it. I knew he shouldn't have done it. I knew he shouldn't have gone there. He could have been killed. He could have been killed.
All right, so I wonder, are we gonna, oh hey, what room is this? Is that David's bedroom? I guess it's David's bedroom. Yeah, because it's got checkers and it's got the toy guns on it. Okay, cool. I wonder if we're gonna get a hospital set in the upcoming episodes. And I also wonder how long Roger is gonna be in the hospital. Good work to Louis Edmonds' stunt double there on the car crash. The effects were a little wanting. Probably decent, though, for 1966 television. David Hennessy as David Collins. First of all, kudos to the showrunners for making his name the same. But, excellent job by that kid. He's doing good work there. Yeah, this was a good episode. All right, that wraps up a week. I'll be back next week with episodes 16, 17, and 18. Although, if you're watching this on YouTube, you can get it on our Patreon right now. All you got to do is pay $2 a month or more, and you get access to all of our videos and all of our content early and ad-free. And especially with these reaction videos, occasionally we have to cut them up a little tighter for YouTube. You'll get the full versions on our Patreon. There you go. ArticulateCoven.com/join. $2 a month. I'll see you next week. Bye, everybody.